Ethics is at the foundation of being a professional, so it has to be there. It's incredibly important. Without it, it's not a profession.
No accountant sets up and goes for fraudulent activity. So everything that you do is legal, but there's a difference between legal and ethical.
We are the first accountants in the country to have something called the fair tax mark, which is a way of distinguish yourself as somebody who deals with tax ethically. Small businesses don't have the opportunity to do what Google and Apple do, right? It's just not possible. People are at a real disadvantage. So, you set up a local cafe, well, you are in competition with a multinational, naming no names. If that multinational is paying no tax, you're at a 20% disadvantage in your business model to them, right? And the thing that really gets me about it is that you could have a better coffee shop, you could do better customer service, have a better product, all of that. So in a way, it sort of encourages inefficiency and bad value. That's what gets rewarded, right? And so, one reason I did that was because I felt that actually this is really good news now for small business. This gives people a reason to do business with small businesses for a right reason around tax and kind of for that to become a positive, So I'm supporting my local business. I know that it's supporting the local economy because it's doing the right thing by tax, and there becomes a way for us to differentiate and have a positive reason to work with that business rather than paying a little bit less and going to the multinational.
I think there's a broader point around ethics generally and how we run businesses. I think regardless of any mark, certainly the people that work for us at the Wow Company, there's some people in our office today who wouldn't be there if they felt that we were doing something dodgy. It's quite that kind of purpose-centered business model is just there, and I think it's more of an expectation now as well. 20 years ago, you could have stood up at shareholders meetings, say, our purpose is to deliver profits for the shareholders, whereas now the businesses that really fly a business do well, certainly in my business, we're heavily process-driven. We're really passionate about trying to make a difference to the world.
I have this love-hate relationship. I kind of balance the argument, so I'll play the devil's advocate here, because I'm fundamentally built on the ethics, but there's an understanding that you can only really be ethical when you reach a certain level. So it's a luxury to be ethical. If someone can't afford to buy a coffee from someone that's selling it a little bit more expensive than another brand that may be less ethical, and they just can't break even on their cash flow, they're going to go to the people that sell them a cheaper coffee. As you're talking about small business owners becoming more ethical, there is actually a business in becoming more ethical because money goes towards people who are more ethical at the moment. So there's actually a business case for it. It's not just, airy-fairy, we've become ethical. It's actually, we are ethical, and that's part of our sales strategy. It's not just ethical. If consumers had a real issue with some of the bigger players not paying their tax and they stopped buying from the bigger players would be much smaller players.